Hey everybody, it's Erin from Juniper and Oaks. Welcome back. I am so glad that you have joined us for this desert flower pillow crochet along. This is part 4 of the cowl. If you've missed any of the other parts, make sure you go back to part 1 to learn all about it. Get your yarn, learn the stitches, things like that. So far, we have made up a gauge swatch like this. This is the Jasmine stitch. This is the basis for our pillow here. Just beautiful, really works up so beautifully in this high desert yarn. I just love how the Jasmine stitch works with it, don't you think? So we have our gauge swatch and we have our back panel, okay? This took a while, gave you a couple days in order to catch up. Today it gets a little bit easier. We're not going to be using quite as much yarn. I know we've used 2 skeins already just for this panel and our gauge swatch. We're going to be moving on doing the moss stitch, working around in the square here. So we're going to use this as the basis, the center of the front panel, and we're adding a separate stitch around, okay? I will do a little video and you can watch that here after this, and I will be teaching you how to add the moss stitch in the round on top of the square. After we're done with part 4, it's going to look like this. So let's go ahead and do part 4 of the desert flower crochet along. Here we go. Okay, so to continue on with this front panel, like I had mentioned, we're going to take the gauge swatch that we made from part 2 and we're going to work around the square. We're going to add, very similar to the moss stitch, in each stitch around. Start crocheting around our gauge swatch. Begin with a slip knot. Insert your hook through the slip knot. And then here's the top. What we're going to do is, here's a corner, and there's a puff to the right of it. Then to the right, we're going to insert our hook through the space between these 2 puffs here. And we'll work a standing single crochet. Then we're going to chain 2. I'm going to chain 2 over the puff and do a single crochet into that corner space. And chain 2 and single crochet again into that corner space. And now we've kind of turned the corner and we're going to be working along that first side with the next side. Okay, chain 2. We're going to work the chain 2 over the next puff and work a single crochet in the space between the puff. So you may notice a pattern here. We're going to do chain 2 over the puff and then work a single crochet between 2 puffs. And just repeat that until we get to the end. Okay, so chain 2, and then here's the space between these 2 puffs. Single crochet into that. Then chain 2, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet in that space, 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 chain 2, single crochet in that space. Then we're going to chain 2, and this space is weird. I kind of had to go back and count, but you want 10 puffs on each side. And our 10th, our space that we're going to do our corner is kind of around that corner right there. And you're going to work your single crochet, chain 2, kind of turn the corner, and in that same space you're going to work a single crochet. Chain 2. Now we're going to work the same thing along this side. We're going to work our corners the same way and then just work that all the way around. Does that make sense? Oop. So I will see you once we get to joining. When you get to where your first stitch is, so for example, I just did a single crochet, chain 2. If I was to do a single crochet, I would single crochet into the space where I already started. So when you get to that point, do a slip stitch into that first single crochet, and then chain 2. Now you're going to work a single crochet into the chain 2 space right underneath, and then chain 2. Now here we are at the corner, and we're going to work a single crochet into the corner, chain 2, and single crochet into that same corner. So you're working the corner in the chain 2 space from down below. Then you're going to chain 2. Now we're going to work along the side, and single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, chain 2. And you just continue in this same manner, working your single crochets into each of the chain 2 spaces, and then chaining 2 and working your next single crochet into the chain 2 space from down below. Each corner, you'll do a single crochet in the chain 2 corner. So you do single crochet, chain 2, single crochet into each quarter. And that is how you work these stitches, these rounds. I'll show you how I end round 2 and begin round 3. So pause or rewind this part so that you can catch up to me at the end of round 2. Whatever you need to do in order to understand these rounds and move on to the next round. So here we are at the end of round 2. I just did a single crochet, then I chain 1, and this spot might get a little weird because it's the seam, but I'm going to slip stitch to that first chain that I made here, and then chain 1. I'm going to work a single crochet kind of in that same space, and then do your chain 2 and start with round 3. Okay, now here we're at the corner again, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, chain 2. So work this next round as similar as before. For each chain 2 space, you do a single crochet, then do a chain 2, and single crochet in the next chain 2 space. Each corner gets a single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, chain 2, and then continue on at the end. When you do each seam, just slip stitch into the stitch you just made, whether or not it's a single crochet or a chain, and then just continue on following the pattern. We're going to continue on in the same fashion for all of the rounds in the front panel here. So I'll meet you up at the end of this panel. Of course, if you have any questions, you can leave a comment down below. You could post a question in the Juniper and Oaks Crochet Community Facebook group, and we would be happy to help you out. Feel free to pause and rewind this video as many times as it takes for you to understand. If you kind of get the gist of it, then just continue working, and I'll meet you up at the end of the video. We have finished up 19 rows of this modified moss stitch, and we've ended somewhere about here. I'm going to tell you, I'm not sure how it happened. I was doing my slip stitches here, and then somehow I was able to work the stitch in the round without slip stitching to join. Wasn't even thinking about it. It just sort of happened. So if that happened to you, great. I just won't even know how to pull that. I'm not going to even pull that back to see how I did it. I'm just going to continue on as it is. So if you've managed to figure that out as well, props to you. But this is kind of what we look like at the end of our front panel. In part 5 of the video, we're going to seam these pillow panels together and add some tassels. But we're going to wait for that for another video. Thank you so much for joining in on part 4 of this crochet along. I'm so excited that you're here. Please leave a comment down below with how you're enjoying this crochet along. I'd love to hear from you, and I'd love any feedback. So thank you so much for being part of my crochet community. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up so that other people can find the video and participate in this crochet along on YouTube. Thank you so much. See you for part 5.